Hey, we are live. Hey, hey, hey. It's the West Coast and the South, and we're live. How y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing, Patrece? How are you? How are you? Yay, yay, yay. And how you doing, Latricia?
Excited.
This is so fun. I'm so excited to have. How you doing, Latricia?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Glad to be here.
Now, who's the hottest? What's the weather like in hot Atlanta, cold Atlanta? What is Atlanta?
Okay. I haven't been outside, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. I haven't been outside. It looks beautiful from the inside of my office.
Yeah, that's good. You look beautiful from the inside of your office.
Thank
And
you.
what's it like, Patrece? Have you've been outside because you were in the car when I talked
Yeah.
to you earlier?
Yes, getting food. It was actually
Right.
it was like in the 80s, but it's been raining like cats and dogs today. So
Wow.
we had a lot of rain. Yeah, a lot of rain, a lot of humidity.
Well, this is cool. We got a lot of comments. I know people are coming on. Ladies, we want to know where you're coming on from. And if you are a beauty consultant, we want to just welcome you. And if you're a guest of a beauty consultant or one of our guests, tag your beauty consultant. We want to coming on from. And if you are a beauty consultant, we want yeah. There we go. That's what happens when we play our own device because we want to see our face on social media, right? So we want to just share and give you an opportunity to take a peek into pink. I'm National Sales Director, Independent National Sales Director Caterina Earl, and I'm excited to have Independent Sales Director Patrece Johnson on the line and Senior Sales Director Patrece Johnson. Y'all are like, I work hard for that title. And Independent Future Executive Senior Sales Director Latricia Henry. Get excited. So this is going to be a peek into pink, and I want to thank you for joining my business page. I want to just let you guys know that you're welcome to share this on your business page or in your private groups. And we thank the guests that have joined. We're just giving you a peek into what we do and our world and why we love what we do. And so we want you to comment a lot, tell us what you like, what you love. And so I'm just going to get started and tell you a little bit about both the ladies that are joining me, and then I'm going to share a little bit about myself. And I'm going to get started because, this is kind of just wonderful for me because one of you is my actual child and the other one is my adopted child. So I'm blessed. And Patrece, the #1 sales director in the Solid as a Rock area. Yes.
Yes.
To her amazing daughter, Destiny, who's age 20. And I cannot believe it, Patrece. I have known, how old was Destiny when I met?
When I got into Mary Kay, I was pregnant with Destiny. Yeah. So when I met you, yeah.
Right. With her, get excited.
Yes.
Worked in the insurance industry, you guys, as an insuring servicing carrier for the state of Mississippi for 10 years, served as a member of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. She and her unit, you guys, were ranked #9 as the Rookie of the Year unit in 2002, ranked in the top 10 of the most improved units in the state of Mississippi in 2014. She and the 3D Nation unit now are ranking #1 in the state of Mississippi. Hey. And in our national area. And she ranked #4 out of all of the Legacy of Champions directors. And Patrece and the 3D Nation are currently on the road to having their best year ever. And so we're excited. Give it up, y'all, for Patrece.
Yes.
That is exciting. Put in the comments what you can love and appreciate and what you hear that inspires you. And Latricia is a former accountant and 5th grade teacher. Get excited. With 2 degrees from North Carolina A&T State University, not 1 but 2. So smart. Okay. She has been in her business for almost 13 years. First line offspring. Kathy, pop some of those fun things on the screen for me. First line offspring of #1 national sales director in all of North America, elite executive national sales director Gloria Mayfield Banks, who is my mentor. She earned 6 cars in 6 years, awaiting the arrival of her 2nd pink Cadillac. That is awesome. First most improved in Georgia, #1 most improved in Georgia, and #8 overall year to date. also top ranked in the national area and in the nation in both sales and sharing. And y'all, she is just an amazing woman, single mom of 2 successful young adults. And so I'm so excited to have y'all both on our Peek in the Pink show today. And as I just reflect over my 29-year career with Mary Kay, it is so wonderful to have been a record breaker myself, and now to have both of you, to celebrate both of you with your record breaking success. And so we're just going to be talking and asking some questions. And Patrece, I would love for you to share, if you think back to the beginning when you started this amazing business, what was the biggest thing that could have prevented you from getting started? And why are you so glad that you didn't let that prevent you and you just took off and made it happen?
My mother and I have a very close relationship. And so with that, I valued her opinion. I needed her approval for a lot of things in my life. And so she was one of the main objections in reference to me signing up to do this business. And she was so not on the bandwagon about it. She insistently told me, Patrece, look, you have my grandbaby to raise. Destiny is her only granddaughter. And so she's like, look, you can't be around here playing and no makeup. So you've got to really, you have a good job and you need to stick to that. And so it was those words. It was that statement that I hung with the phone from her. And I was thinking, you know what, baby, she's right. And so I just thought about it. But the thing about it was, I realized that my mother did not hear the things that I heard. She did not see the things that I had seen. And so I had to just really make a decision that she was thinking it was not for Destiny, but it was really for Destiny. And so that was the thought for me. So I went ahead, I made the decision. I said, you know what? It won't hurt. So I went ahead and I gave it a try. And when I tried it, I didn't tell her. So when I made the decision to sign up, I didn't tell Mother. She just knew that I had already made the decision to do it. So that was it. And I was so glad I did. And so that reason for me doing it was simply because I knew myself, and being an auditor, people didn't want to be around you. And actually, I guess I didn't want to be around them, but I needed some positivity in my life. And so I had watched a videotape of Gloria Mayfield Banks. And in watching that videotape with her, I said, you know what? I want to do this. And I'm going to tell you honestly, it was because I wanted to meet her. And so that was the reason why I did. And I'm really thankful. And so I'm just going to say this too. Here we are, like 13, maybe 11 years after Destiny. Well, Destiny's 11 years old. And we're sitting there at the hospital with her. And my mother stands there with tears in her eyes. And she looks at me and she says, every time my grandbaby goes to this, you're always there with her. And she said, you know what? We're going to do everything we can to make sure that happens. And all I could think about standing there was, what if I had not made that decision? I mean, what if I had not made the decision? Because she was thinking about, she was in her own thought process. My mother had nothing, she knew nothing about being an entrepreneur. She had been on the same job for over 20 years at that particular time. So security is something that she was concerned about. And she didn't see the security that I saw.
I love that. I love that. And I love that you said videotape. Get excited. Okay. Get excited. But for you, the same question, Latricia, what could have, what was the reason that you said yes? And what could have stopped you from saying yes?
Okay, so my story is probably a little bit different from Patrece. I said yes just to shop. Like, do I have any real sister girlfriends out there who are just like, can I get my stuff at a discount? Hello. I mean, it was totally about shopping. I had just taken a pay cut when I went into teaching, and I was thinking more about how I could get my stuff for me by saving a little bit of money. My teaching salary wasn't that fabulous at all. And my Mary Kay products was kind of the only thing that I really had for me. So 2 years I was a customer. And then finally she said, well, you just let me know when you're tired of paying full price. I said, oh, okay. That makes sense to me. So I decided to sign my agreement at that particular moment. But what could have held me back? Probably underestimating what Mary Kay had to offer. You guys, I was that person who was bougie and broke. Can you get excited about that? I didn't think I needed anything like Mary Kay in my life because I had my degrees and, I wasn't about to be selling lipstick and all that good stuff. But my bank account would have told the truth, which was, ma'am, you need to sell Mary and Kay. That's what you need to do. So that's kind of, how everything kind of transformed from there. Next thing you know, people at the school started realizing that I was selling Mary Kay. They wanted to know a little bit about it. I did my first party. Kind of on accident, but that's a whole other talk show. In an hour and a half with me dressed wrong, my starter kit in the dusty box, I still sold $753 worth of product. And all I could think to myself was, wow, number one, that was easy. Number two, I just brought in an extra $375 into my household in an hour and a half, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So imagine what could happen if I actually put some energy and effort to it. So I was that person who was resistant. I was resistant at first, but I'm glad I said yes, because 3 years down that line, I got laid off from that teaching position with no warning, no plan B, no time to even create one. And my Mary Kay business that was a plan B or even C suddenly became my plan A. But I never have had to work for anybody since then. I haven't punched another clock since 2009, and I've been able to be there with my children throughout their most formative years.
Wow. I could totally relate to that. Can totally relate to that, because even though I wasn't a teacher, I really was a teacher, but in the nonprofit world. So I was, teaching at-risk youth and helping to prepare them to transition and have school and work so that they could do both and take care of their child or children. And, in the nonprofit world, bougie and broke, I could relate. 24 years old at the time and needed cash to pay off student loans, pay for grad school, all of those things. And so what could have stopped me is I just knew that this was not for me. Young people weren't in Mary Kay. I was young. I knew that, smart people weren't in Mary Kay, i.e., my mentor went to Harvard Business School, Latricia's senior director. And I didn't think Black folks were in Mary Kay. I didn't think, I just didn't think that it was for me. And I certainly wasn't going to be the salesperson. And so I could relate to everything that you said. I totally could. Now, both of you guys just had stellar months. I mean, among your best month ever, Patrece, for you, what would you say in this climate with just mindset? What is that went into creating your best month ever?
I've got to say that I so believe in doing something that you love doing and something that's a natural talent of yours. And so what I had come to realize that I was an auditor because that was actually a natural talent of mine. And so as an auditor, your job is to find solutions, find the problem and find the solution for it. And so for me, that's the mode that I went in immediately. And what I was thinking was, you know what? The bottom line is this is not new for us in Mary Kay. This is not new. That's just telling us now that this is what we have to do. And so immediately my mind, I just shifted into that. And I've got to tell you, I was totally clear about what it is that I needed to do. I had just been through a few things in life that required me to really be on my face about some things. And so with that being said, when I say on my face, Caterina, I'm talking about fasting and praying, fasting and praying, fasting and praying. And so with that, I felt like I was already prepared for COVID-19. I mean, my mindset, everything was completely, it was just prepared for COVID-19. I believe that I was set up for a time such as this. The 3D Nation was truly set up for a time such as this. It's like he prepared us. He prepared us last year to be ready for this time. And so when this hit, I mean, my mind was ready for it. My mind was ready to be the leader that I need to be for the women that worked with me and that believed in the visions and dreams that they had for themselves. So for me, it was just about, putting things in place. And so what ended up happening for me, when life brought about those changes that caused me to really get on my face, it brought about a conviction in me that said, look, no more and no longer will you compromise. So at that point, compromising was not something I was willing to do. So it didn't matter whether it was COVID-19, 19 COVID, it didn't matter what it was. It was not going to stop me. I had already made my mind up before COVID came that I was going to accomplish and do what it was that I felt that I was called and purposed to do. And that was to build a 3D nation of women, an organization of women that believed in working in their God-given talents in the spirit of excellence and going out and being hope for the community. So that's what I believed. I just believed that that's what it was about for us. I believe that it was totally about bringing hope to people. While so many people were looking at the things that were going on and the changes that we're having to transition in, I felt like this was an opportunity for us to look at the world in a bigger perspective globally, and for us to do it in the comfort of our own homes. And so that is what we maximize on. I mean, we talked to the ladies, and it just began to just take a heartbeat like never before. And the main purpose, though, was all about elevation. I've got to say that's what's on my shirt, because I totally believe it. But it was totally about elevating those that were around me in my space. And I believed it wholeheartedly until this day. And we stand on this fact of building the wall, Caterina, and that is building the wall. Nehemiah 6. We believe that we were here for such a time as this. And my unit is called Destiny Divine Dreamers, 3D Nation. And that means that we were destined for an appointed time. And that time is now. So it's like at that point, you just know what it's about. You're just clear. I fasted and I prayed so that I could get clarity. That was last year. I got the clarity. I heard the instructions of what God was telling me to do, and I moved accordingly. And it's just not an option. It was not an option. And so in that, the obedience brought about things. I've heard people say that before, and some people say it out of cliche. But no, for me, I meant it with every part of my being, and I mean it to this day, because we're not finished. We're just getting started.
Wow, I love that. I love the philosophy of Mary Kay: faith, family, career. I love the choices, the flexibility, the options, and I love your Elevate shirt, if I might say it myself.
Yes.
And what we've been doing. And Latricia, you have elevated this month, this year, and really your family, because being an entrepreneur has elevated your family. Can you talk about what entrepreneurship has meant for you and your family?
Oh gosh, it's been so much. It's been so much. Starting off, I've always been a single mom. I've always done it with no help. So when my kids were 11 and 7 is when I said yes, and now they're 23 and 19. So Team Henry, my family, my kids, Brittany and Brandon, have walked with me throughout this entire process. They've seen everything from start to finish, from figuring it out, from me when I was scared and running from it, to me embracing it and winning cars, and being able to be there with them. It allowed me to be present with them when they needed the most. When my daughter was being bullied in middle school, I was able to be at the school more often so that I could prevent those things from happening. And if I needed to ride the bus and be that mama, I could too. Thanks to Mary Kay. I was able to finally attend field trips and, just kind of be there to support them during their years. Because before Mary Kay, especially when I was in corporate America, I missed everything. All I saw was dropping them off in the morning and picking them up at the end of the day, and that 1 to 2 waking hours with them before it was time for them to go to bed so we could get up and do it all over again. Mary Kay gave me time with my kids back. It allowed me to be an involved parent, a concerned parent, to watch and to propel them. I was that mom who was always home. My kids never really gave me any behavior issues, but I think a lot of that was because I was home. I was there. I was there when they left. I was there when they got back. And that was really important to me as a mom. And now that they are young adults, I'm able to contribute to their lives. My son is a sophomore, well, now rising junior, political science major at Howard University, and to be able to help him live his dream. That's his dream. His dream is to work in the federal sector. So where else did he need to be? And just the ability to be able to take care of that and work to make sure that he graduates with no student loan debt. That's the dream I'm living right now. is the ability to be able to do that. It wasn't easy, but it's always been worth it. They have been a part of my building, of the building of my business, whether it was putting my labels on the back of the product or cleaning my mirrors when they were little, to now my son has helped me strategize every car that I've earned in Mary Kay. Every single one, he's crunched my numbers and he's helped me get to the bottom of it. And my daughter has always been there to support, to be on the team and to make sure that she's contributing to it. So Mary Kay has done amazing things for my family. Even the time I was able to spend with my grandmother before she passed away, trips I was able to take with her and my mom and everything. So Mary Kay both changed my life and it saved my life. When I found myself in the midst of an abusive relationship, when you think you find Mr. Right and turns out to be Mr. Really wrong, like really, really wrong. It was my Mary Kay family that helped us get out of the situation. Like, it took one text message to 3 friends that said, come get us. And they did. 15 minutes later, cars, trucks, vans backed up to the house. They unloaded our 5-bedroom house in 3 hours flat. And because of my Mary Kay girlfriends, we never had to look back. Never had to be in that house. Never had to see him again. Never had to be on that street again, in that town, in that area. I don't even live in that state anymore. And my Mary Kay girlfriends have been there the entire time. So at my lowest points, they were there. And that was a gift to my family, is knowing that we were not out there having to fend for ourselves. There was a pink bubble full of people, full of men and women, women and men, who really, really care. And it's about more than just makeup. So I'm grateful to Mary Kay.
Yeah. This family is so real. So real. I mean, I've slept in Destiny's bed when she was a baby. And when Latricia, when your son needed to get out of Howard because of COVID-19, it was like, what's Tracy's number? And my best friend, who is my first team member, who probably is watching, who lives in the DC area, went over and helped him get the stuff. His stuff is at her house, right? Okay.
Yes, literally. Her and her husband packed my son up and stored all of his college dorm stuff in their home. And he later came back to me and said, Mom, I'm so glad that I didn't do what some of my friends did, which was just leave their things and go back, because it's harder to travel now. It's harder to get there now. I'm glad that I was able to take care of everything and turn in my dorm keys because I didn't have to go back, So the pink bubble is amazing, y'all. Amazing. It's the best network you could ever have.
I mean, it is. I'm sitting in my home, and this is the week that I celebrate 6 years of my father passing away. And it was the pink bubble, I mean, it was a pink bubble that surrounded me so I'm thinking about all that this week, and how I was with my Mary Kay sisters when I found out that my father had passed. And so this bubble is so deep. Well, in the time we have about 10 minutes left. And so we want to talk about how we're working right now. Like, let's just break it down. Okay. Like, it's unbelievable that Latricia and I think alike. You love technology. I mean, you are on it. Patrece, you are naturally just, the way you just love on your people, and the way, how you've worked your business, and you guys have such a camaraderie that you're building. How are you experiencing success right now in your business? Think about the consultants as well. And you guys both have 2 brand new offspring directors. You both have supported women recently that are earning the use of their first free cars, becoming sales directors. So just talk a little bit. We can even kind of dialogue back and forth. What are you guys both doing right now that is working during this time?
Well, oh my gosh. You go, Latricia, go ahead.
I think we're probably doing the same thing. We're working with winners. We are
Yeah.
working with winners. That's,
Mhm.
I am so blessed that my unit, shout out to the heavy hitting headliners, H3, we are full of winners, you guys, full of women who are hungry for success, who want to make a change. They could care less about what's going on outside of their homes, because we are blessed with a business that we can work in our homes, whether there's a pandemic or not. We just had to activate this part. So we believe that there's power in the pivot. And I'm telling you,
Mhm.
we have some women in our family who have totally functioned with a massive pivot. My newest offspring sales directors, my newest twins, Ursula Alberry and Veronica Nero, you guys, they shined in the middle. They were not shaken at all. And Ursula finished her Mary Kay car. She became a sales director and earned her first Mary Kay car at the exact same time. And Veronica is literally one day away from finishing her car. One day. She said she was going to be done by the 15th, and she's going to be done. And then we just had a lot of women show up. And I think Patrece will probably say the same thing, that there's a lot of momentum. So we have Ebony Jordan, who's on target for her car. And we have Tracy Fergus, who is going to be on target for her car this month. You guys, I'm just surrounded by winners, and that gives me energy. So we just push, we work, and we get it done. That's what we're doing.
I love it.
Yes, and I've got to say that I've got to give it up for my newest offspring, Contessa Gardner. Oh my gosh, this Contessa Gardner was formerly a forensic scientist. Okay, so when I tell you, like, serious attitude, just so committed to whatever it is that she needs to do, but she decided to come home to homeschool her 4 kids. All of them are under the age of 6 years old. Okay, yes, okay, all of them. So she was already homeschooling, and she was like, Patrece, look, I've got to do this. This is a great opportunity for me to become a sales director. She made the decision to do that with 4 kids, okay, being homeschooled by her. And that's just amazing, crazy. And she was committed. I'm talking about, and Latricia, when you talked about teaming up and they were just wanting to win, Contessa, we were together. She was here almost every day, the last week. We were getting it done so that she and her family could do what they needed to do, and so that they could receive what they wanted to receive. And that was putting her in the leadership position so that she can truly be there for her children and for her family, and the magnitude of what it is that she wanted, which is providing for them, with being able to be empowered. We talked about the pink bubble. This is one thing that I love, because she has a support system. She has a support system like none other, being in Mary Kay, and definitely being into, when you step into directorship, it's just a whole different ballgame in itself. And so I'm excited for her. And then she also is on target for her car. I mean, she's like, look, we got to get this car done in 2 months. Okay. She wants to finish it. She's ready for her babies. And then we also had another amazing young lady, Delisa Juarez, who is currently on target for her car and is in DIQ. You know what I mean? Yes. Okay. And Delisa just said, Patrece, we call Contessa on the move. Yes, we have these names for each other that we help to make sure that we promote and we encourage each other. So Contessa's on the move, and Delisa is 15,000. Okay. So that is her name. And when I say, you're right, Latricia, when I talk about winners, they are that. They're not just winners, but they're women of excellence with a heart, with a passion, to really do what it is that they're called to do. And they believe in the purpose of what we're all here for. And so we all come together and rally. And Caterina, thank you, because that's exactly an example of what it is that 3D Nation is about. We're truly about that. And this is truly, people hope and they think about this, they want this, but this really exists in 3D Nation for us. I mean, this exists for us. And it is therapeutic for me. I'm telling you, it is so therapeutic. We have our 5 a.m. calls in the morning where we're getting up and we're praying together and we're studying together. And our vision, our focus is to be on the wall. And we're on the wall. That's where Nehemiah 6 comes from. So we're on the wall, and that gives us an opportunity to come together as a unit, to see what God wants us to do and to move in the direction. And so we're prepared for that day. We're prepared for the day. And it's amazing how the layout flows out for us. So that is also phenomenal. We've had some 3D millennials. Oh my gosh, I got to give it up for Danielle Bryan. Danielle Bryan right now is a 3D millennial who is setting herself up to be on target car DIQ right now. And her recruiter, they decided to power up Tundra Ricks on target car DIQ as well. So we're excited about them. We've got some massive things happening because it's all about showing that God will show up in the midst of it all when you keep your eyes focused on him and you submit to the purpose. So that is truly what it's about for us. So you're right, Latricia. It's all about those with us because that's exactly what they are, who they are.
I love this. I love this. I love this. Well, we thank the guests that are watching, and the opportunity to take this peek into pink. It is just beautiful to be able to reach out to your beauty consultant if you could see yourself wanting to be a part of what we do. There are different ways you can get started, but right now Mary Kay has an amazing promotion where you can become a part and have your very own Mary Kay business for only $30. It's called the eStart. And that eStart, your beauty consultant give you more information about it. You get your website and you get your secure way to accept credit cards right there, or you can get our traditional starter kit, which is $100, or for $130 you get the eStart set up for your virtual business as well as your starter kit. And so the person that invited you, we absolutely positively want you to reach out to her and let her know, tag her so that she knows that you're on. And the obvious things that people are thinking is, I'm busy. Okay, well, right now, I mean, they are going to let us out of the house eventually, but I know many of us have been busy. I work in full-time ministry with my husband.
Right.
I've never been busier, not just with my married business, but with life and everything that's happening.
Yes.
And we're blessed to live between Chicago and California. I couldn't leave my mama at home any longer. So we put on our hazmat suits and got on an empty plane and came to California, literally. And it is here. So because of the flexibility, but people want to know, I'm busy. How can I fit this in? We can show you how to fit this in, how to make this work. I mean, what we used to do and drive across town for, or what I used to fly across the nation for, now I'm able to work and do that at home. The extra money, it can be some chump change or, some diva dollars, depending what you want to create. You get to decide and design your own schedule, your own opportunity. The product, you don't have to be a pushy salesperson. Nobody likes a pushy salesperson. So, we do teach you how to weave this into your own schedule and make it work for your personality. And it's fun. We have a lot of fun, and you can choose to do literally just, it could be the parsley on your plate. No matter how full your plate is, you can fit some parsley in. I've got some homeschooling moms, and we've got very busy people. Later on, it might become the baked potato, the steak. And then for many, it can become your whole enchilada. You hear Patrece getting folks up at 5 a.m. Okay. I'm not the morning person. Okay. So I love to pray, but I ain't on a call. I get excited. So, it can be, there's something you get to design this business for yourself. And these are just two amazing women showing you examples of a peek into their pink life. And it's wonderful. Of course, the money is one reason. The recognition, we didn't even really talk about the recognition, but wouldn't you guys agree that the positivity is so thick it can you can almost cut it with a knife. The self-confidence, you heard them talk about the self-confidence boost. We talked about the opportunity to be your own boss, and the fact that there are amazing tax advantages when you become a beauty consultant. And so you just want to reach out to your beauty consultant and let her know if you would love to be a part of what we do. We thank you for taking a peek into pink. I'm going to ask you guys to just close with one of your favorite memories or most favorite things about being a independent beauty consultant and now sales director with Mary Kay. So Patrece, how about you? And then Latricia.
Oh my gosh, these like 20 years you want me to put it in one.
Like, on the news, you only get like
like what? Okay, I'm gonna start at the beginning. I'm gonna start at the beginning as a consultant. And that was the most impactful thing in my career. And that was when I earned the first trip going to see Gloria and the magical advance at the fall advance. Okay, that's what it was. The fall advance. And when I went there and I heard and I saw all the empowerment of the women, I was so moved by, like you said, all these African-American women, they're just pouring their hearts out and being so authentic with each other. That's the thing that empowered me. And Gloria said this, she said, earn the platform so you can tell your story. I never forgot that. that's something that stuck with me and has just been just that for me. So now it's like 3D Nation is at this place, and this is the opportunity that God has given us to do just that. And it's just, so it's kind of like starting at the beginning, Caterina, after 20 years and coming in at the end. So this is where we are now. We're actually getting to walk that out, the thing that he put in my heart, that desire, which was in 1999 when I went to that fall advance with Gloria, and she said that in that teal black suit with black. I would never forget it. And I said to myself, I've got to earn the platform because I have a story to tell. So that was the most impactful thing. And I'm excited about 3D Nation story.
Excellent. Latricia, how about for you?
Oh gosh, it would have to be when I got my first car. And the first car meant the most to me because the fallout from that abusive relationship was the fact that I lost my car in that entire financial process. So I was a sales director for my first year and a half without a car at all, let alone a Mary Kay car. And my unit and I, we earned a car without a car. I remember days of weeks of renting a car one at a time. I would work my business and make enough money to extend the rental for another week and do it again and again and again until March 2014 when we earned that first car. And I will never forget the last day that I drove the rental back to the place and gave him the keys. And I said, my Mary Kay car is here. I'm going to come back and show it to you. And I have a picture of me and the guy, the rental guy who kept me in the cars. I have a picture of me and him there. And that meant the most to me because it showed me that there was literally nothing that could stop me from doing what it is I needed to do for myself and for my family. And I knew that Mary Kay worked when they let me drive off the lot with that car and didn't have police sirens behind me. Honey, I knew Mary Kay was real. But that was probably my most memorable moment.
Yes, so many memories in the world with Mary Kay. And I would say that right now, all of the national sales directors are supposed to be on a private chartered cruise ship, right? We are obviously not there. I'm at the house, okay? But so many memories as the daughter of an aircraft engineer who loved traveling the world. My daddy took me all around the world. It's been a blessing to, be able to visit places and have my passport filled as we travel as national sales directors. And so we're just so grateful. Of course, we want to, again, thank the guests that are joining. We know that what is taking place in our world is real. It is real, absolutely real. And no doubt there are even some out there that are personally affected. I've been personally affected in my family, but we love what we do. We get to give women an opportunity to take a beauty break. We get to have virtual beauty sessions with women. And because of technology in this time, in this place, we are able to do just about everything that we would do person to person, aside from me giving y'all a hug, a real hug. We are able to do so much of it working virtually. So please do reach out, tag your beauty consultant. We want to thank you for joining us. And just hope that you don't just take a peek into pink, but you join our pink world. So have a great day. Bye-bye. Great evening. Bye-bye from California, from Mississippi, and from Georgia. Okay, get excited. Bye-bye.